There are many bridges in the world which play key roles for the development of countries. Yes, I completely agree that visible bridges are important to the world economy, development, and much more beyond that. But today, I came here to talk about invisible bridges, the bridges which are important for human communication and personal development of young people. One can't choose where to be born, in which country, in which family. Unfortunately, this fundamental background is playing a big role in personal development of an individual. Independent from this fundamental background, one can have a great dream and good ideas. What can help to reach this dream? There are many ways to fulfill one's dream. One of the opportunities to fulfill your dream is being able to obtain an education. There is one person who is the only Mongolian scientist who received 2 doctoral degrees in computer science from Russia and from Germany. She also received a honorary doctor from a Russian university. She was the first Mongolian female scientist and educator who received a research grant twice with total $40,000 from an international foundation. And that person is standing before you. Today, I would like to explain how this happened to me and the role of the invisible bridge that played key importance to my achievement. I received a diploma in system engineering in 1992 from Novosibirsk State Technical Institute. And then I returned to my home country to follow my dream. My dream was to become a famous great programmer and to be key contributor to development of computer science in my home country. However, my father recommended me to work at a university. For him, to see his daughter as a university professor was his dream. I respected my father's wish, and we agreed that I would work only for 1 year at the Technical University and to see if it fits me or not. But during that year, I realized that to motivate my students and to work with young people makes me very happy. So I found my place in the world. To be a teacher of someone, to support young people with their education and career made my life meaningful, and I decided to stay in academic environment. In 2002, I met my teacher, Professor Ulaanbaatar from Novosibirsk. He was a Korean who was born in Russia, who did great career in education, science, and international cooperation. He was a vice director for international communication in the Novosibirsk State Technical University for 30 years. And he built educational bridge for international students, and he put all his effort to organize these things. Many scholars from different countries traveled between universities via this educational bridge which he built. He visited Mongolia by invitation of Professor Sodnomdorj for only 5 days. This is the Ulaanbaatar. And I had chance to be translator for him. And one day during lunch, he started conversation and discussion with me. This was very intensive discussion, which I was not expecting. And this made me really great to discuss open with famous professor about my academic problem. Meantime, I was preparing my thesis, doctoral thesis, to finish, but I had a small problem to find corresponding supervisor. To my surprise, he suggested that I should return to my Russian university and can finish my doctoral degree under his supervision. But I needed to meet a condition to prepare my application only in 2 days before he leave Ulaanbaatar. And he asked and he requested answer immediately in that post, yes or no. And later I found out that this was somehow his strategy to test personality of his students. And what happened? I said yes. For short, I handed my documents 50 minutes before the departure of his train from Ulaanbaatar to Novosibirsk. I never forgot his words in that day. When I gave my documents to him, he looked and said, "Oh, really? You have all documents?" And a bit truth looked, and then said, "Great. I like such dedicated person. I will help you to finish your degree successfully. Come to my office in September." When I heard these words, it made me feel as if I finished my thesis and was receiving my degree already. I have never felt this much of power and energy before. He transmitted a lot of energy and power and hope to me. I felt sure that I can finish it all successfully. That experience teaches me that motivation and support provided by powerful educators has a huge positive impact on young scholars. Going back to Novosibirsk and finishing my degree just in 1 year is another long story. For this journey, Professor Ing-Habil from Power Engineering School of Mongolian University of Science and Technology supported me a lot. When we meet us again in his house in October 2002, he introduced me, Professor Mikhail Gennadievich Grif. He was my scientific supervisor for my thesis. This was my first step over that educational bridge which was built by Professor Tsoi between our universities. Without this bridge, my personal story in science would never have begun. I would not have been able to stand in front of you. I didn't know that this was just the start of our cooperation then. Later in August 2007, he called me from Russia and asked me to assist his friend and colleague during his visit in Mongolia. And this was German professor Karl-Heinz Egger. And Professor Egger visited IFOS conference in Ulaanbaatar, and I had chance to show him my university. This conference was a starting point of my connection to German universities. The Professor Egger from TU Chemnitz introduced me later to Professor Hart. And he was my consultant professor for next degree as habilitation in Germany. My achievement would not have been there without my teachers. Therefore, I set foot to continue this great teacher's legacy to build educational and scientific bridges between universities and countries. To fulfill this idea, we, Professor Hart and me, started a small international summer school in 2011. This year we will be organizing our 10th event, and we are happy to invite participants from all around the world. We had participants from around 20 countries like Germany, Mongolia, Russia, China, India, French, Portugal, Iraq, Sri Lanka, and Japan. Building that invisible bridge between them and helping young people to discover other opportunities, get inspired by the like-minded people, and to reach their dreams. My dream was to be a great programmer. But I became a teacher for young people of different countries. I'm a teacher who is living with success of my students. And to build educational and scientific bridges, not only work of the single person. This is the teamwork. And here you can see a lot of faces who's helped me, always supporting to build this educational bridge. Today, I would like to send a big thanks to all teachers who build bridges for educational travel around the world for young people. It's a great honor for me to follow their legacy and continue to build education and scientific bridge between countries and universities. As conclusion, I want to say to our audience that please look to your bridge in education or in science or in your life. Because not only me and my teachers are building this bridge, all educators of around the whole world always putting their effort to build educational bridge for young people for their personal development. Thank you very much.